remember it was a winter afternoon, and Zayed Sahil and I were sitting in Zayed's house and mulling and looking for a name. And of course, boys being boys, they were constantly coming up with these very aggressive names, warriors and gladiators and whatnot. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Sahil came up with the words "born free," and I instantly jumped up because for many reasons. I think the simple thing is that the instant reaction was a reaction of intuition. It just felt right. It's a very positive name. I think it's a name that depicts or is reflective of the headspace that we were in at the time. We wanted to do something new. We wanted to do it with absolute freedom. We needed to have freedom of thought, of space. We were three young people who were on the brink of exploring an entirely new territory. But the beautiful thing about Born Free is that as we got into making the film, forming the company, and writing something as simple as the company profile, or even making our animated logo, which I'm sure you've seen, I think the meaning and the depth of the name just became more and more clear to us. Born Free is a name that encompasses everything that we believe. Everything we believe about cinema, about the way we need to treat people, and about the thoughts that we want to put out into the world. And we hope that as a company we can provide that environment to everybody that works with us, and to just ensure that the naivety, the innocence, the beauty of a young mind, a young child, remains intact within the Born Free family. When people see the film, they'll realize very quickly that even though we tend to, use all kinds of adjectives to describe it, we say it's young, it's rooted, it's fun, it's about people who you can relate with. But I also think it has a lot of depth. So does the humor. There might be characters who are making fun of their life and their situation in life. But there's very strong messages that this humor holds. I think the ability to laugh at yourself is a very big gift, and is a very rare gift. And I somehow felt that Love, Breakup, Zindagi didn't really convey the depth that the film has. It gave you an idea of what the film could possibly be, but I didn't believe at the time that it had it projected the entirety of the film enough. But now that I've lived with the title for close to six months, and we've made the film, and I think that it's how you interpret it. I mean, if I had to sit down now and to break up the title, break it down, I would say love is such an all-encompassing feeling. It's such a universal emotion. It's an emotion that is experienced by various people at different stages and in different forms in their life. Love could be for a thing, love could be for a parent, a child, a teacher, an animal, a friend. So love has a vastness to it that I think opens up the mind of an audience as far as expectation is concerned. So that is the kind of love that they will witness in the film. Breakups, I think, are a very integral part of life. Life can begin after a breakup, and all those who believe that life ends at a breakup, or life is not as nice as it should have been because you've been heartbroken, think again. There's something wonderful waiting around the corner. Zindagi, of course, is about a plethora of emotions. It's about all these different aspects that we feel in our life all the time, about different people, how it takes all kinds to make the world, how it takes all kinds of emotions to make your life, and your experiences to make a life. So now that I think about it, I realize that even though at the outset Love, Breakup, Zindagi sounds very simple, it's actually got a lot of depth. I think for any relationship to survive in this world, whether it's a partnership in company or partnership in work or partnership in life, trust is a very important ingredient. I think with Zayed, it happens very easily because he's just somebody I've trusted for a very long time, and he's never let me down. There's a lot of faith and belief that I've had in him, and I'm grateful that he has in no way let that faith down. As far as Sahil is concerned, I think Sahil brings a lot of integrity to his work. There's a lot of honesty in the way he is. And something as basic as reading the script allowed us to understand the kind of person that he is. Because I think a writer is a lot of his thoughts are a reflection of who he is and what his faiths are and what his beliefs are and what kind of a person he is. And I think Sahil has very high values in life and is a very transparent human being. And I think that's very important to find the foundation of a relationship. Temperamentally, Sahil and Zayed are poles apart. Sahil is a very calm person, very collected person. I've never seen him react to anything violently or in an agitated fashion. I've never heard him abuse or get aggressive or angry. Zayed is very passionate on the other hand. He can get restless very easily. So I think it's a very interesting balance between the two boys. One is very calm, one is restless. So they kind of balance each other out in the equation. And I have a little bit of both in me. So it's interesting. I think there is a certain meticulous approach that we've had with every aspect of this film. And casting was one of those. There are quite a few production houses today that have casting directors who go through the entire process of finding the right faces to fit the right part. Sandhya has been a friend for many years, and when she started this agency and we started the company and we were casting for the film, the first name that came to my mind was Sandhya's. And even though I'm sure we would have been able to cast ourselves for the film, I don't think we would have been able to do justice to the cast the way we've managed to do, thanks to having a casting director on board. Umang Jain is this very innocent, vulnerable, lively girl. She's got speaking eyes. But the part that she's playing in the film, when we read it in the script, was of a girl who was jaded. She lost faith in relationships. She's carrying the burden of previous broken relationships into the next ones. She hadn't really confronted the problems of her past relationships, and she was typically what most young urban girls are today, who easily give their hearts away and are perpetually heartbroken. And when I read it, I thought that this is, oh my God, this is like a very serious role. But Sahil's interpretation for that part was totally different. He said, no, I want a very vulnerable, innocent girl play this part. Because the typical Indian mindset is this, that the moment they find out that a girl has dated more than one boy, she gets into this, oh, she's a loose charactered person, into that bracket. He said, I do not want my audience at any time to stop loving this girl or to feeling anything less for her. Because the truth about these girls is they put their hearts out because they need that love. There is so much love inside them that they want to share it. And he wanted that vulnerability to be intact, that innocence to be intact. And Umang was right for that. So even for the smallest parts, forget the principal 9. For every small part, whether it was a boss in the office or a waiter at a restaurant or another sub part, the smaller characters, even those were cast after several auditions. And I really think that makes a big difference to the quality of the product, the quality of the cinema that you're making. Well, when Sandhya read the script, she said, you are Naina. Naina's you. Because the part, I think, was inspired by the way I am. That's what happens when you're the producer. But Naina has a lot of me. Her quirks, her passion, her enthusiasm for life and all the things in between. She's a person about little things. Little things matter to her more than big things. I wouldn't call her ambitious. I think she's just a very grounded, rooted girl who lives in the present moment and who just puts everybody else before herself. She's got a maternal instinct. She really cares for her friends. She gives great advice, but unfortunately doesn't really apply it to her own life like most of us do. It would have been the biggest mistake of my life had I not played Naina. It's been the most wonderful part I've ever played. Govind's character is inherently funny. He's a humorous guy. He has a sense of humor. He's intelligent. He's got depth. He's not flaky. He's not stupid. He's not a bumbling fool. But he's funny. And I think Jai also has a very sharp wit. And he has that edge over the rest of people where he has a strong sense of humor. So people laugh with them when something's funny. I've had a very long and close standing relationship with Sahara Parivar. I'm a part of the Sahara Parivar. The script was ready and we had a basic format ready with regard how we would like to make the film and how we would like to market it and release it. All our plans were in place even before we got into production. I think Sahara was blown away by the level of discipline and the level of clarity that we had with every department. How we had envisioned this film, how we wanted to make it, what it would take to make it. Of course, there's a lot that we learned along the way and we've discovered alternatives and better ideas. But I think at the outset, what excited them was the clarity with which we went to them with. I think it was one meeting and they were on board. I think Sahil is perhaps easily one of the most gifted writers we have in the country. I don't want to say too much about his talent. I hope that his work will speak for itself, and I know it will. But I think being able to convey a thought, whatever it may be, whether it is an experience that you've gained from somewhere, or it's something that you witnessed, or there's something that you've truly and deeply believed, to be able to take all of that and weave it into a story where people breathe, they think, they live, they laugh, they cry, is not easy. As a director, I think I don't think any of us at any stage felt for a second that this was his first film. And I think that's a very rare gift, to be able to make everybody feel very, very safe in your hands. Sandhya and Sahil both just wanted fresh people in the film. Their mantra constantly was fresh, 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 new, new, new. We wanted there's something very beautiful about new actors in a film, and especially when they're talented actors, when they can just come in and blow you away, which is what these guys have done. Also, what happens with new talent is that they have no baggage. There is a lot of unpredictability about what's happening next, or what is going to come up next when you see a new face in the part. The moment you see an established face in a particular part, then there is a certain expectation you have of that part. You know, लड़की इसको कभी नहीं छोड़ेगी, or you know, ये तो लड़की का हाथ इसके हाथ में देके चला जाएगा. We didn't want that happening. I think it's important to retain that novelty that the parts required. Production is a very taxing job. It is taxing because you're constantly dealing with several departments that have to work in a synchronized manner simultaneously. There's a lot of back-end work that happens in production. So as an actor, you report on set, you shoot, you go back home, you probably rehearse your lines and you go to sleep. As a producer, that job never ends. It's constant. There's something happening all the time and you need to be involved. And I think as hands-on producers, we've really been involved with every aspect of the film. I think this was God, whose idea was this? I think Sahil came up with the idea and I broke it down a bit. He wanted it to be an entertaining, episodic insight into the making of the film. I believed that it needed to be entertaining and educational. So it's become an amalgamation of both of our ideas now. It has a clear and distinct spreadsheet. We start with script, we move into crew, we get into cast. So you're basically covering the whole process of what goes into making a film. Alongside that, you're witnessing the fun, the joy, the pain, the pleasure. And just, I think more than anything else, we just wanted the viewer, the audience, the media, and everyone alike to be involved with the film, to become part of the film. You know, every day at Pack Up, the whole crew would clap. Every day. I can't remember a single day of work when I haven't heard the whole team clap and say thank you to each other. I've worked on 42 films, that's never happened before. That's very precious. Very, very precious. And I think that's what matters the most to me. That at the end of a day's work, everybody goes back home feeling happy and secure in the thought that they enjoyed every moment of their day.